Wojski.
Para este primeiro hit vamos ter Polónia e Suécia.
We've got about 30 seconds to go until that 1 minute call. Well, we'll be asking the boat handlers to help put these boats into the water for these athletes lining up here at the start. So if you're here in and around the beach here in Oeiras, come on down and line up alongside the start and finish funnel. Welcome, of course, to all of those tuning in from home on the live stream on worldrowing.com. It's great to have you with us. We'll be live with the racing in just a couple of minutes' time. One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention. Restart. Get ready. Attention.
There we have it. We're underway with the first race of the day here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. These athletes, of course, allowed to go on the drop of the flag, and it's an even start here as we see Eskil Borg for Sweden in lane 1 get into his boat right alongside Maciej Wojski for Poland in lane 2. Absolutely level getting off the beach here. I think Eskil Borg just starting to nose ahead, heading up towards the first buoy in our slalom course. Just to remind everybody of the course that they'll be taking, they'll go down the right-hand side of the first buoy, the left-hand side of the second buoy, and then they make an anti-clockwise turn around the turning point at the far end. So it's really, really important that they go to the correct side of each buoy to avoid any penalties. Things looking pretty even, though, as they head through the slalom course.
Para as Dois primeiros atletas estão dentro da água, da Suécia e da Polónia. Eskil Bok e Maciej Wasowski. Na linha número 2, o atleta da Polónia, um pouco mais na frente. Lembro que este beach sprint eles têm que contornar sobre a esquerda a boia do meio e depois rodar no sentido contrário dos ponteiros do relógio para voltar em linha reta até à praia, à altura em que vão ter que desmontar, ou seja, sair da embarcação e vir a correr e tocar na buzina. Só aí o tempo para poderem dar o seu tempo e passar à fase seguinte.
Well, they're at the turning point now. We have Borg going at 40 strokes a minute. Up to that point, we had Maciej Zawojski at 38, so relatively even when it comes to getting to that turning point. Zawojski, of course, an Olympian from the Poland national team, an immensely strong athlete. Let's see how both of these two round the corner. They've both gone ever so slightly wide to try and line up for the return straight back in to the flag that they've then got to run around before heading up towards the buzzer. Zawojski slightly straighter now. I think he's lined up best out of the two of these athletes. Eskil Borg, though, a very experienced coastal rower. This could come down to the dismount, but I think Zawojski now has a bit of a lead here. It's a time trial, so all of these athletes will be looking to set the best time possible, and then based on that ranking, we'll determine the 8 that will progress through for the quarterfinals later on. Zawojski going a little bit off course here. Let's see how they handle this beach landing.
Ora, aí está os dois atletas praticamente em paralelo. Wasowski era atleta olímpico a sair um pouco mais à direita, com a experiência do atleta da Suécia, o Eskil Bok, na saída da água. Lembro que isto é um time trial, portanto o mais rápido passa à fase seguinte.
Well, Zawojski getting buffeted by a few waves coming in for the landing, and it sees him tip right into the water, but he's okay, he's up quickly. I think he's got the better position on the beach to go around his flag, so I think it's going to be a win in this heat for Maciej Zawojski coming in for the buzzer. He takes the win, but of course we need to check the time, so that's a 2:56.95. Borger gets in for a 3:02.59. That's the benchmark then this morning here on day 2 of the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals in Oeiras. We've got 7 more time trials to come for the men's solo. Let's see how their times compare to those set just now.
Maciej Zawojski, 2:56.955, foi quem levou a melhor nesta primeira e a marcar a tempo para estes 8 hits que temos no skiff masculino.
And we're running straight into the second time trial now for the men's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Ireland, we have Keelan-Mannix. And in lane 2 for Spain, Sergei Planes Galvin.
Este é o segundo hit entre a Irlanda e a Espanha.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then, time trial number 2. Keelan-Mannix rapid down to his boat there. Very, very cleverly timed coming out of the starting line. Let's see how he gets underway.
Ora, a entrada entre o remador da Irlanda e o espanhol, Keelan-Mannix e Sergei Galvin da Espanha.
Well, the Irish will be pleased with this. Some waves starting to come in. Keelan got clobbering there, but he didn't slow down whatsoever. That same wave put a bit of a boat-stopping effect onto the Spaniard, Planeis Galvan. But they're both reaching the first turning buoy in this slalom course. Let's see how they approach that. No issue. They're pretty much level, as we can see in these great pictures from the local production being organized here in Oeiras, Portugal. Pretty level coming up towards the second point in this slalom. Let's see, they're going a bit wide. They're both going rather wide around here. The currents, you can just see them from the beach, dragging them across between the first and second buoys, really pulling them over to the left-hand side of the course. So there'll need to be quite a lot of corrections to get back over to the right, and therefore the correct side of the hairpin bend at the end.
That's the thing with coastal rowing. You're in the sea. Currents are changing a little bit, Peter. Thank you for this. Turning up to Portuguese, temos então a Irlanda e a Espanha. A corrente a variar um pouco. O andamento deles a chegarem muito próximos. A Irlanda e a Espanha, vamos ver, a virarem os dois praticamente ao mesmo tempo. Vamos ver aqui em direto as imagens lindíssimas aqui da Oeiras.
Well, we can see they're going around the turning point here. We had Keelan at 36. We had Planeis Galvan at 36 as well. It seems as though the Spaniard made a slightly better turn there, but Manix now lining up straighter than the Spaniard, and this sprint back to the line. Let's see how they handle any waves and swell coming in. It's a great straight course from Keelan Manix of Ireland. The Spaniard's going to have to do a few corrections here, so we'll see how they handle this coming back into the beach.
Keelan Manix e Sergio Galvan, praticamente em paralelo. Tudo decidido, o tempo é que conta aqui.
Planeis Galvan for Spain, now starting to take a bit of a lead here. It's going to come down to the dismount and this sprint up the beach. There's perhaps a length and a half separating them, coming to the last 20, 30 meters of the water section of the race. Let's see how they handle the dismount now. There we have it, the Spaniards out of the boat, running up the beach. It's always close stuff here. Bear in mind, it's still a time trial, so this is not a knockout event as yet. This is setting the best time possible to qualify through to the next rounds. We have a time of 2:56.67 for Spain and 3 minutes 0.51 for Ireland. So very, very close stuff there. In fact, the Spaniard almost equaling the time of Maciej Zawojski from the previous round. So this is the faster end of the time trial series of rounds we've got this morning, because these are the guys who set the fastest time through the time trials yesterday.
Mais rápido o espanhol, 2:56.775. O tempo mais rápido desta manhã neste segundo hit.
And we're going to run straight into the third heat now, where we've got lining up in lane 1 for Germany, Michael Benedikt Remers, and in lane 2 for the Czech Republic, Tomáš Zobal.
Hit number 3, hit número 3, Alemanha e República Checa.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, we're underway with the third heat now, the third time trial this morning for the men's solo. Making it quicker down to the boat there, Remers for Germany, quite a fast athlete then. Let's check how he gets into the boat. Can be quite tough to put your feet in cleanly. He's opted to keep his feet outside of the shoes just for the first few strokes at least. A tough option. I think he'll try to slip his feet in as he rows. a technically very difficult thing to do whilst you're trying to navigate these waves and prepare yourself for the first boy in this slalom course. Well, it's earned him perhaps a length up already over Zobal of the Czech Republic.
Aí estão então os dois remadores, Alemanha e República Checa, Michael Benedict Remmers e Thomas Zobal, a entrar, a Alemanha a sair-se mais rápida no início, quase com um marco de diferença para o remador da República Checa. Já estão quase a chegar à primeira boia de slalom.
Well, they're passing the second boy in the slalom, and we've got Remmers for Germany up at 41 strokes a minute to Zobal at 38. And we can see here that they're still maintaining that same margin that they had perhaps 100 meters ago. They're now approaching the turning point. Let's see how they handle their lineup for this. I've said it before, it is really challenging stuff to be confident enough to jam your right-hand blade in a boat-stopping fashion to take the sharpest corner you possibly can around. And then you can see here, Zobal for the Czech Republic, he's turned perhaps slightly earlier than Remmers from Germany. Now, these are the first few hard strokes after that turn to get your boat back up to speed. We can see that Zobal for the Czech Republic, a good, clean, straight line back in. I think Remmers going a little bit wide following the hairpin bend. So it's going to be tough for him to get that back on track without rowing too much of an extra distance and a looping course back into the beach. Well, 100 meters or so to go before they're back on shore, and I think that hairpin really has worked in the favor of Thomas Zobal for the Czech Republic. He was a length down through the 250 meters heading out, and now he's a length to a length and a half up on his way back in. So this beach dismount could prove critical when it comes to him setting a very, very fast time. He'll be thinking about how to speed up that start as compared to Michael Benedict Remmers from Germany, who's clearly had one of the fastest starts we've seen today. He's even got a wave to ride in. That has been perfectly timed for the young Czech Republican athlete. Good dismount as well. Let's see how Remmers for Germany fares. Same as. So we're coming up to the buzzer now, and let's check out the time set by Thomas Zobal, 2:55.2. That is the fastest time this morning by about a second. And then we've got Michael Benedict Remmers for Germany coming in with a 3:01.954. So another faster time yet. So Thomas Zobal with a 2:55.
Ora aí está, as coisas a ficar mais emocionantes. Thomas Zobal da República Checa a marcar o melhor tempo, 2:55.205.
We're running on now into the fourth time trial for the men's solo. In lane one, representing Algeria, Sid Ali Boudina, and in lane two for Canada, Aubrey Oldham.
E de número 4 entre o Canadá e a Argélia.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, we're off to the start here now of the 4th time trial for the men's solo. Very, very rapid stuff from Sid Ali Budiner. He was watching that flag, and as soon as it dropped, he was off like a rocket. He's the first to reach the boat. Aubrey Oldham not far his stern. In fact, as they set off from the beach, it's a quick one for Aubrey in getting into the boat. So let's check out how they handle this first buoy in the slalom course. They look pretty level here coming up to this first buoy. Few waves starting to upset things a little bit on the Canadian side. And a couple adjustments there, but it's a perfectly lined course. Smacking down the buoy with the rigger, that's what you would aim to do if you're a little bit too close to it, so it doesn't upset your blade work. The rigger can handle knocking those buoys down. So they now need to adjust to the other side of the course, coming up to the second buoy.
Duelo entre Canadá e Argélia. Pelo Canadá, Aubrey Oldham e pela Argélia, Sid Ali Budiner. Estão os dois muito próximos nesta passagem pela boia de controle a meio. Este é o hit número 4. Portugal vai entrar no hit número 5 já de seguida com o Pedro Fraga.
Things getting really choppy at the far end of the course. We're almost losing sight of the boat shells underneath them from the beach. Doesn't look so choppy from the overhead shots that we're looking at on the screen here, but they're coming up to the turning point. Aubrey Oldham ever so slightly ahead here, opting for the really close corner, going as sharp as possible. Budiner a little bit wider. Let's see how they handle that lineup now and the pickup to try and get the boat back up to speed. Oldham looking dead straight back into the beach. Budiner now lined up dead straight back into the beach as well. So this really is a sprint back on to the beach now. Oh, there's some turbulent strokes out there in the middle of the course. You can see the waves and the currents pushing left and right. It really is difficult to keep these boats level and allow you to put in max power through the water on every single stroke. The washing machine here alongside the Tagus River that exits Portugal right here in Lisbon and at Oeiras, causing all kinds of currents out there. It's been described many times as a washing machine, but I think we can see Oldham just poking nose ahead of Budiner, but only by the smallest of margins as we come up towards the beach. So a good race to the line.
Estão os dois quase a chegar à água. Aubrey Oldham e Sid Ali Budiner muito próximos.
Last few strokes is going to be a hair-raising sprint to the line here. Aubrey Oldham from Leander Club in Canada. It's going to be so close. Let's see how they handle this. You can see this sprint up the beach. And it's going to be Sid Ali Budiner hitting the buzzer just ever so slightly ahead of Canada's Aubrey Oldham. Let's see the times. He has hit the buzzer. We may have a slight hiccup there, so we'll come back to you with the official times once they are in, and we'll check back with you shortly. We're going to move promptly on now to the 5th time trial for the men's solo. We were due to have Pedro Fraga for Portugal lineup in lane 1. Sadly, he's had to pull out due to medical reasons, so we'll only have the one athlete lining up in this time trial heat. It will be Nakano Hiroshi for Japan in lane 2.
Hit número 5, onde esperávamos poder ver o Pedro, mas realmente uma lesão nas costas não vai permitir que ele alinhe. Vamos ter apenas do Japão, Hiroshi Nakano.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then, Nakano Hiroshi for Japan, racing solo, racing against the clock. He's a fast athlete. Let's check out how he gets into that boat just as the break is coming in towards the beach. I think it'll pass him before it causes any kind of upset. His friends push him out in towards that next wave coming in. How's he going to handle this one? No issue whatsoever. Now we're starting to see him build into his race pace here, just checking over his shoulder where that first buoy is. The current's pushing him all over the place as he tries to get started.
Este é então Hiroshi Nakano do Japão, neste hit número 5, a remar contra o tempo. O que é importante neste time trial é que o tempo conta e é com base nisso que passamos para as fases seguintes deste Beach Sprint Finals.
44 strokes a minute, coming to the correct side of the second slalom buoy. Looks like he's navigated that perfectly. He's just going to miss it with the smallest of margins passing that second buoy. You can see the slight adjustments. He's now heading dead straight towards the right-hand side of the turning point. So navigation not proving to be an issue for him whatsoever, taking advantage of the currents out there. Coming up to the turning point, it's 250 meters out that way, and then he's got 250 meters straight line back into the beach where he'll come up towards the flag that he must run around on the return leg before heading up to the buzzer that will set his time and his ranking, therefore, in this time trial event. Going slightly wide here. In fact, he's going to have to adjust that. He's gone way off course. Now he's going perpendicular to the beach nearly. I think he's noticed. This is going to mean he's got quite some extra rowing to do, going such a circuitous route back into the beach. He's continuing to adjust. Chatting to some of the athletes through the course of yesterday, they said that with the buoys all being yellow, it can be a little bit tricky to determine which ones are the ones, once you've turned around, you're disorientated, which ones you need to be lining up for your return leg. Particularly when the currents are going all over the place. And then when you look over your shoulder to try and see what's going on the beach, you can see in that shot there, it's mayhem on the beach to try and pick out either your boat handlers or the flag that you've got to run around. He's back on course now after quite a fair amount of adjustments, being tailed in by the camera boat. Let's see how he handles this dismount now. Can he recover a few precious seconds coming into the beach? It is a fast time nonetheless at this point. Some of the previous athletes clocking the fastest times are 2:55 so far. We're around 2:30, 2:32 on their beach landing, so he's perhaps 5 to 10 seconds shy of them. It's going to come down to the sprint. Good clean dismount will pay off well. He's giving it everything. I said it all the way through yesterday, but once you've given it everything out there on the water, this soft sand on the way up the beach is so difficult. 3 minutes, 0.375. That is an excellent time considering the roundabout way that he came back, so he'll be thinking an awful lot about that when it comes to the next rounds.
De 3:05 para Hiroshi Nakano.
On to time trial number 6 now for the men's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Austria, Yuri Suchak, and in lane 2 for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Sultan Al-Shali.
Hit número 6, Austrália. E Arábia Saudita.
1 minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
I think the athletes are wising up to watching the flag rather than listening to the buzzer. And we've got Suchak and Al-Shali for Austria and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia making it to their boats in pretty even time there. Let's see how they get themselves underway. First strokes go to the Austrian Yuri Suchak. That's earning himself about half a length already. No, as I say it, with a great first few strokes, Al-Shali gets back on terms. So we're heading up now to the first turning point in the slalom, or the first buoy in the slalom. Both athletes look perfectly lined up to go on the correct side of it. A lot of good help coming from the supporters on the beach to make sure that they don't have a hard time with their blades. Although just as I say that, Suchak clatters it with his blade. Now they're heading back over towards the other side of the course to go around the left-hand side of the second slalom buoy.
Hit número 6 com o austríaco Yuri Suchak e o amador da Arábia Saudita Sultan Al-Shali. Bem próximos nesta primeira passagem de slalom.
Charlie now a length up, striking 42 out there at the front of the field to Suchak's 38. Let's see how they handle this turn now. Who's going to take the more aggressive line out of these two? They'll be thinking about jamming in their right-hand blades. Very even now. I think Suchak is starting to make up for that deficit that he was facing on the way out there. And he is now pulling out to the slightest of leads here, but it is Al-Shali who's got the straighter line back into the beach. Slightly deceptive camera angle we're looking at here. They're pretty much level, but Al-Shali with the straighter line back in. So this is all going to come down to navigation. So difficult to make out amongst the crowd on the beach who your boat handlers are that are trying to gesticulate with their arms which way you need to be pushing. So Al-Shali, the straighter course coming in towards the bank. Suchak will have to make some corrections, but his flag is slightly more over in that direction. So it could be a close sprint up the beach to win this heat. But as I've said before, it's a time trial. So it's all about getting to that buzzer, because the rankings will reshuffle as we go through all of these time trials. There's two more after this one, and then we'll know the final rankings.
Agora está o remador austríaco Yuri Suchak a tentar colocar o seu barco na posição mais correta, mas Al-Shali um pouco mais na frente para a saída, mas o que conta é a buzina, a chegada aqui ao final.
Last couple of strokes now. It's going to be Sultan Al-Shali for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, who makes the beach first. And very, very well navigated. It's right where you would want to land to go around your flag. So it's just the sprint up the beach now. You can see him giving it everything to try and clock the fastest time possible. Suchak a slightly longer route around his flag, and the time comes in. No buzzer on that one, so we'll have to wait for the official verdict. And then the time comes in for Austria's 3:10.02, Al-Shali 3:08. We'll wait for that to be officially confirmed in short order. Well, we're going to move rapidly on to the penultimate time trial for the men's solo. Lining up here in lane 1 for New Zealand, Martin Wouters, and in lane 2 for Egypt, Ali Hassan. You can see the current time trial rankings there on the screen. 2:55, Thomas Zobel, the fastest time set thus far. We've got 2 more time trials to go. Lining up here at the start, Martin Wouters for New Zealand in 1 and Ali Hassan for Egypt in 2. Just about 90 seconds before we get started with this race, so I'm sure the athletes are going to be going through their final mental preparations and thinking about how they're going to navigate this challenging course here in Oeiras, Portugal.
É o hit número 7 com o Egito e a Nova Zelândia, Ali Hassan e Martin Waters.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
But then New Zealand, Egypt, Martin Wouters, it's a rapid sprint down for him. He's going to reach the boats first. Let's see how he handles that entry. Focused on getting his hands on the blades. First couple of strokes go to New Zealand. But it's pretty level leaving the beach, in fact. And it's on lane 2. Ali Hassan, who perhaps is now pushing out to the slightest of leads, heading up towards the first boy in the slalom course. No, they're about level as they come up towards this boy. Nothing separating them. Expertly navigated around this first turning, or the first buoy, only inches separating the tips of their blades from the buoy. So that's perfect navigation. Martin not being pushed over whatsoever by the current. He's lined up excellently for the second buoy, as has Hassan for Egypt. So this is going to be a really, really close one here. You can see there's very little separating them on the screen. Perhaps a foot to the Egyptian. Martin hits that second buoy and that slows him down ever so slightly, and that means that Hassan for Egypt moved out to a length and a half up, coming towards the turning point. Let's see how they handle it going around the bend.
Bela imagem que estamos aqui no ponto de viragem deste percurso de beach sprint na Praia de Oeiras. Os remadores do Egito e da Nova Zelândia, Ali Hassan e Martin Waters.
Well, it's great turn for Ali Hassan of Egypt, coming back in a good straight line as well. So this is going to be a fast time for Ali Hassan. Wouters going ever so slightly off course. You can see from this great picture, he's going to need to turn back round to the blue sections that you can see on the beach in the distance on the big screen. You can just see how difficult it is to make anything out on the beach when you see these great shots from the drones and the camera boats following all of this racing. Beautiful pictures. Ali Hassan now making a great beeline in for the flag on lane 2 side. So let's see how he handles the dismount. Will he be able to get a clean one in and set what is looking to be like quite a fast time? I said previously that the fastest times so far have been landing at the beach at around 2:30. So he's a few seconds off that. Between 2:30 and 2:35 have set the fastest times when it comes to the beach landing. So that gives you about 15 seconds to dismount, 15 to 20 seconds for the dismount and getting up the soft sand here on the beach in Oeiras, Portugal. There goes Ali Hassan, excellent dismount, no issues there whatsoever, and he's a fast man here. Perfect landing position, so it's a straight line past his flag, no needing to go aside. The buzzer clocks him in with a 2:56, 2:57. We'll wait for the official time on that, but that is rapid. That would put him up in contention with some of the fastest athletes that we saw from yesterday, the likes of Zawoyski Planaes, Galvan and Zobal. Coming up the beach here then, Martin Wouters. Let's give him a round of applause, folks. Here for New Zealand. Let's see what time he's going to come in for. Fantastic performance. Martin Wouters for New Zealand. We're waiting for the official time for both of these athletes to come in just a few moments. Well, we're going to jump straight into the last time trial now. Lining up here for Cape Verde, Patrick Fernandes.
É o item número 8, o último deste skiff masculino. É o Patrick Fernandes, de Cabo Verde.
1 minute, put your boat in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, we're underway with the last time trial, the last heat for the men's solo, and he's rapid. Look at him go, Patrick Fernandes from Cape Verde. He probably would win the time if we clocked it for the sprint down the beach. There was nobody would be keeping up with him there. Good clean entry to the boat, no troublesome waves to upset that to get him started. So he's off to the best start he could have possibly wished for here in this men's solo time trial, looking to clock as best a time as he possibly can. He's racing against the clock, it's just him there, and we'll need to give him a huge round of applause as he comes back in to the beach shortly. So a couple of challenging strokes there just to readjust and go the correct side of that first boy in the slalom course. No issues, he doesn't clip it, so he'll be readjusting back the other way. We've heard from some of the athletes today that between those first two boys, there is a bit of a right to left current that you can allow to drift you over in the correct direction if you use it properly. Now he's coming up to the second boy in the slalom. Let's see how his navigation looks. From here, it's dead straight to the correct side, so he should be safe.
Ora, cá está então de Cabo Verde o Patrick Fernandes a tentar navegar o melhor possível aqui com algumas orientações também da Vandira. Está aqui na praia, ansiosa por ver a prestação do seu colega de equipa ali a tentar melhorar a sua navegação. com imagens lindíssimas que temos aqui no nosso drone para o direto neste worldroaring.com.
And he comes up to the buoy and by the skin of his teeth, he's gone the right way around it. So that was lucky because it's a minute penalty if you mess that one up. So very, very well done, Patrick Fernandez. He's at 30 strokes a minute, so slightly slower than some of the athletes when it comes to his rate of striking, but he's clearly going for power through the water. Now it's all about lining back up for that straight run in to the finish funnel here on the beach. He's turned well, now he's got to pick that boat speed back up. Really tough to do when all the lactic acid is burning in your arms and legs to try and find the strength from a standing start to build these heavy boats back up to speed. They're around 30 kilos to get moving again. So tough work. He's going to have a few adjustments to make coming into the beach now. Ever so slightly off course, but we need to bear in mind that his flag is over on this side, so that's what he'll be looking for.
É neste alinhamento que precisamos que ele venha, o Patrick Fernandes, a lutar aqui contra o tempo. Remamos aqui na Praia da Torre.
Well, here he comes, coming in at 29. Oh, a challenging wave upsets his rhythm there. He's at 29.30 strokes a minute, going ever so slightly to the other side of the beach, so he'll need to correct that and find that these boys could be troublesome. Hopefully, tricky wave there, upsets his balance. It really is tough to make sure that you get clean blade entry and exit. Now let's hope he doesn't get tangled up in this series of buoys that he's going to have to row through to get as close to his flag here on the beach as possible. That boy sees him push ever so slightly to the side. It looks like he's been caught in them, so he's going to end up dragging around to the side. Fingers crossed he can detangle himself and get back onto the beach. A tricky one here. Looks as though it's caught up in his rigger. Is he able to detangle it himself? There, he's done it. So he's got a few more strokes to get back onto the beach. And folks, let's give him a huge round of applause as he comes back in onto the beach here. Last couple of strokes and he's on the correct side of the beach now, so he'll be able to make that dismount and head up towards his flag.
Vamos lá aplaudir o Patrick. Sorry, Peter. Vamos lá aplaudir o Patrick. É isso mesmo. O que conta é o tempo da final. Ali com alguns imbecis. Vamos lá, grande Patrick. Assim é que é. Bom aplauso.
Let's hear it, folks. Patrick Fernandez from Cape Verde. Last race of the time trials for the men's solo. Well, folks, that brings the time trial for the men's solo to an end. And in a few moments, we'll see up on screen the final rankings that will take through to the next round. We'll be back with you shortly for the women's solo Repechages at just after 11 o'clock.
Vamos aguardar pelas classificações finais aqui no nosso ecrã, à altura em que vamos aguardar também pelos wrap-ups, ou seja, a repescagem do ski feminino.
Here are the final results from time trial 2 for the men's solo. Czech Republic 255.2 ahead of Spain, Poland, Ireland, Germany, Sweden, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Austria and Cape Verde.
I need a taste, baby.
Get ready. Attention.
Heat number 10, what a sprint for Spain.
David Hussey goes sprinting down the beach here. Let's see who gets there first. It's so close. A photo finish / a buzzer finish. I think that's got to be one of the races of the day, if not the race of the day.
The body don't wait to shut it down. Won't you show me how you work it? I can find no flaws, you perfect. Cause every time that you come around my way, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. And every time that you come across my mind, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. In love.
Vais já falar?
Cause every time that you come around my way, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. And every time that you come across my mind, I keep falling again. I keep falling again. In love. Feeling in my bones. I can feel it in my veins. Hands in the sky, I can feel the winds of change. You live and you learn, and I hope I've seen enough to make something right and make up for what I've lost. I was down, but things are looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. Things turn around, didn't ever think they could. I'm done with the bad, I need a little bit of good. Set out in the world, like everything is new. Stepped on a path, that led me straight to you. I was down, but things aren't looking up. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should. I wanna get high on you, caught by surprise by you. Want you to make my heart feel as much as I know it should.
Cuando dice que me quieres, no sé, que estás con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boya, yo sé que me engañas. Estás loco llamándome. Rompí el cel para no contestarte. Mientras hay otra en tu cama, nunca pude imaginarme que era así estar con vos. Merecí la lección, ahora ya no quiero. Busca todo cuero y nada de te amo forever. Con tu inglés malo, dejarte ti pa' mí sería un regalo. Ya, no tendré nadie como tú. Baby, esa es la actitud. Sé que me quieres, no sé, que estás con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boya, yo sé que me engañas. Cuando dices que me quieres, no sé, que estás con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boya, yo sé que me engañas. Solo vaina mía, fue lindo antes que me lo creía. Es que tu bla bla contamina. Dice que estás en otro lado y estás en Carolina con ella. Ahí viendo Netflix, las heridas ya no tienen fix. Pero ve con ella, que te haga feliz. Y después no vengas a decir que te amo forever. Con tu inglés malo, dejarte a ti pa' mí sería un regalo. Yeah, no tendré nadie como tú. Baby, esa es la actitud. Cuando dices que me quieres, no sé, que no con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boy, yo sé que me engañas. Dices que me quieres, no sé, que no con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boy, yo sé que me engañas. Tú sabes que lo tuyo daña. Cupido malgató su flecha, yeah. No duermo ni en la madrugada. Te espero con la cama hecha. Cuando dices que me quieres, no sé, que no con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boy, yo sé que me engañas. Dices que me quieres, no sé, que no con otras mujeres, no sé. Ese nudo en la garganta me acompaña. Yo no soy boy, yo sé que me engañas.
Well, what a morning we've had, folks, here in Oeiras for the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Thus far here on day 2, we've had the time trials through the course of this morning for the men's solo, and we're now running in to the women's solo Repechages next. So the first knockout rounds of the day. And it's looking beautiful out there on the course. Currents going all over the place. So all of these athletes are going to be bearing that in mind and thinking deeply about how they tackle that navigation. Lots to look forward to. First race off in the women's solo Repechages in about 4 minutes.
Ora, estamos de volta para mais competição. Vamos para as repescagens femininas a partir de alguns. Com a maré a mudar, as coisas começam a ficar cada vez mais difíceis lá na água. E este é então finais do Campeonato do Mundo deste Beach Sprint aqui em Oeiras.
Lining up now in this first repechage for the women's solo. In lane 1 for Canada, Brienne Miller, and in lane 2 for Cape Verde, Patricia Mendes.
Ora, este é o hit número 1 da repescagem. Temos Canadá e Cabo Verde.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
2.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then, we're underway with the first repechage, the first knockout race of the day here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals, Oeiras. It's a fast start for Vandera Mendes for Cape Verde in lane 1. She makes it to the boat first, she's already in her seat and looking to take the first stroke. Let's see how the entry goes for Brienne Miller for Canada. We're seeing this quite a fair bit. Some good fast starts on lane 2, getting the first couple of strokes underway. Navigation, a real difficulty here. She needs to take a look because it's going to be really tough to make such a sharp corner. She has corrected. Let's see how this pans out now. Both boats looking to correctly navigate this first buoy in the slalom.
Ora, já estão as duas embarcações na água. Temos pelo Cabo Verde nesta repescagem a Vandera Fernandes e pelo Canadá a Brienne Miller, com as duas com uma dificuldade neste início de navegação, mas agora já mais corretas a sair.
Coming up to the second buoy now, we've got Vandera Mendes for Cape Verde at 30 compared to Brienne Miller at 38. Passing these buoys now, they've navigated to the correct side, so that's what we like to see. Vandera Mendes hit the buoy with her left-hand blade. It's not upset her rhythm too much, and now they head up with quite a few adjustments to get back on course for the final turning point at the far end of the course. We can see Brienne Miller going off on a steep tangent, I think trying to make sure she's navigating those currents which are pushing these boats all over the place out there. She's safely on the correct side of that turning point, as is Vandera Mendes. There's perhaps a length and a half to 2 lengths separating them at this turning point now. This being a knockout, it really is so crucial to get back to this beach and hit that buzzer before your opponent, because this one's not about the times.
Ora, depois desta viragem, estamos a falar de repescagem. Isto é um knockout, ou seja, quem chegar aqui primeiro passa para a ronda seguinte. Temos Canadá e Cabo Verde. Temos o Patrick ali a olhar bem para a remada. O Canadá com uma navegação um pouquinho mais fora do normal. Ela já reparou agora e há que alinhar para a chegada.
Good straight course now on the return leg for Vandera Mendes, looking to run straight back towards the beach. Couple of steering hiccups for Brienne, sees her go slightly wide towards lane 1. Corrections being made, and she's now running a really good line back in towards her fellow countrymen and women. Aubrey Oldham and Sarah Pigeon stood on the beach here looking to guide her back in and make sure she heads straight for the flag on the correct side of the course here, approaching the start-finish funnel. Let's see how the times are doing, currently at 2:45 approaching the beach. Last few strokes now for Brienne Miller of Canada. Let's see how she handles the dismount. She gets to ride away for the last couple of strokes. It's always a little bit nerve-wracking with these wave-piercing bows to see whether they're going to smash into the beach and cause a sharp halt to the boat. We've seen it happen at previous events, but here comes Brienne Miller for Canada coming in to take the win in this repechage for the Coastal Women's Solo. A fantastic race for her. She will progress through to the next round here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. And let's give it up for Vandera Mendes for Cape Verde, leaping out of her boat here, only a few seconds behind the Canadian. A good fast sprint up the soft sand here. That's it, folks. Let's hear it for Vandera Mendes of Cape Verde.
Aplauso forte para Vandera Mendes a chegar aqui no final. A passar então o Canadá, Brienne Miller.
We're moving on promptly now to the second repechage for the women's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Japan, Sawada Kotori, and in lane 2 for the USA, Cassidy Norton.
Hit número 2 da repescagem entre os Estados Unidos e o Japão.
1 minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, it's a fast start for Cassidy Norton. She had her eagle eyes on the starting umpire's flag, and getting down to the boat level now between these two athletes. Sawada Kotori for Japan in lane 1. Let's check out their entry. A wave inbound. Let's see how they handle this as they're just trying to get their feet in, their hands on the blades. The last thing you need is for that to career you off course. Waves starting to roll in. This is what we like to see, folks, here in beach sprint racing. Cassidy Norton, though, a great start for her. Absolutely textbook from the USA athlete here racing the Coastal Women's Solo. Let's check out her navigation around this first buoy. Sawada Kotori is going to have to do a few adjustments to get back on track. A lot of gesticulating from her friends on the bank, and she's just gone to the correct side of that first buoy. Very, very close to that. It's a 30-second penalty or so if you get that wrong, which is essentially race ending if you mess that up. Now, coming up towards the second point, it's a huge lead we're already seeing for Cassidy Norton of the USA. Several lengths out in front. Navigation going well, but that's quite a wide margin. She's going around that second slalom buoy as she makes her way now to a quick course adjustment and heading up towards the turning point.
Ora na água então, nesta repescagem, Cassidy Norton, Kotori, Sawada do Japão. As duas remadoras nesta repescagem do ski feminino.
Well, coming up to the turning point, Cassidy Norton's wound it right down. 26 strokes a minute. I think she knows that she's got a safe margin, so it's going to be crucial for her to get that navigation right. She'll be looking to save her energy for the latter rounds of competition and just make sure she has a textbook race. So it's a good, confident position to be in this far out in the lead, already having spun around the turning point. She's eased right off. It means tough work for Sawada Kotori. I just wonder whether that's a margin that she'll be able to close down. She's gone slightly long on the turning point as well, which would just mean it's a steeper mountain to climb if she wants to try and close that gap. I'm not sure it's going to be surmountable here because Cassidy Norton just looks fantastic in her solo shell, coming in a dead straight line back to the beach, expertly navigated by the American.
Ora, aí está já na direção, a americana em vantagem para esta repescagem, Cassidy Norton dos Estados Unidos.
Well, this is an awesome performance from Cassidy Norton here, coming up towards the beach, 2:40 on the clock thus far, perhaps 30 or 40 meters left of her sprint back into the line, and it's absolutely textbook navigation. She'll be pleased with that when she watches the race again later, looking back at the course she's taken. Not much more she could have done better on that. Pressure not as on as it could have been racing alongside somebody else, so perhaps that's made it a little bit easier. Let's see how she does in the dismount here. She's managed to ride a wave in. Excellent dismount, and now for a fast sprint up the beach to clock what's going to be a great time in this second repechage for the women's solo here today in Oeiras. There we have it. She's hit the buzzer and she's completed her race, which is for the women's solo repechage. And then, folks, the last couple of strokes for Sawada Kotori of Japan. Let's have a huge round of applause, folks, for Sawada Kotori of Japan. She's going to exit the boat here for her sprint up the beach, representing her country. There we go, folks. Let's hear it for Sawada Katori of Japan, making her sprint up the beach in this repechage for the women's solo.
Go, go, Japan! Passa então Cassidy Norton, segundo Kotori Sawada, do Japão.
Time now to move promptly on to the third repechage for the women's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Germany, Karina Hein, and in lane 2 for the Czech Republic, Radka Novotníková. One minute, put your boats in the water. Well, folks, you might be wondering what's going on here. We're just making sure that the timing system is working absolutely perfectly. So we're just doing a few final checks before we get started in this third repechage for the women's solo. So a few anxious extra moments for our athletes on the starting line. Karina Hein for Germany in lane 1 and Radka Novotníková for the Czech Republic in lane 2. Boats are already in the water. Looks like they're well aligned. We'll have to wait for the umpires. We can see their white flags on their umpire tennis umpire stands, beach rowing umpire stands, I should call them.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go. We have the start. It's a good and clean one. Let's see how they make their boat entries now. This is a nervous point for any athlete who's into beach sprint racing because it can be a little bit turbulent getting your bum onto the seat correctly, particularly as a wave just approaches. Timing is always a challenge for that. You want to get your bum on the seat. Too often we see athletes land onto the boards of the boat rather than on the seat, and then they have to fiddle around and then the seat can come unstuck. That hasn't happened here though. A couple of good waves coming in, making it quite exciting for us spectators watching them handle that, but it's expertly managed and very, very well handled in terms of trajectory for this first boy in the slalom.
Temos então a Alemanha e a República Checa. Karina Hein pela Alemanha e Radka Novotníková para a República Checa. Com uma entrada muito rápida na água, alguma vantagem para a atleta da República Checa.
Well, navigation's proving pretty straightforward for these two as they pass the second buoy in the slalom. We've got Karina Hein at 31 strokes a minute to Radka Novotníková's 35. And it's paying off for the Czech athlete approaching the turning point here. A leading margin of a length to 2 lengths as I see it here. Let's see how this turns out when they go round that hairpin bend at the far end and ready themselves for the straight line that they'll want to row all the way back in to the finish funnel here on the beach. And it is Novotníková who makes it to the turning point first. Very well handled here. She's already nearly entirely spun round before Hein makes it to the turning point. So this could be upset for the young German athlete. But Novotníková, a powerful few strokes here to get the boat back up to speed and looking to run a very, very straight line into the beach. If she can maintain that line, it could be a very fast time indeed. No steering issues whatsoever for Hein or Novotníková. They're both sculling a very, very straight course back into the beach. This is just what we like to see, but it could be upset for Hein because it's the knockout rounds here in these repechages. It's all about getting to your buzzer first and knocking out your opponent so that you get to progress to the latter rounds for this Coastal Women's Solo. Currents going all over the place out there, and I must say, Radka Novotníková has navigated this to perfection, barely having to look over her shoulder, so she'll have her sight lines worked out. She'll understand what it looks like to come in the opposite direction, and she's going to approach the beach exactly where you would hope. Let's see how she handles the beach landing. No issues there. Straight onto her feet and coming up the bank. She's going to take the win in this third repechage for the Coastal Women's Solo. Beautiful scenes here in Oeiras. Tapping the buzzer there, taking the win and progressing through to the next round. But folks, let's hear it for Karina Hein for Germany coming up the bank here. It's been a great race from her, expertly navigated. Just a few seconds behind the Czech athlete Novotníková. Karina Hein for Germany. Racing coming through thick and fast now. We're right into the rhythm of things here. We're going to move on to the fourth repechage now for the Coastal Women's Solo. Lane 1 for Greece, Zoe Fitzou, and in lane 2 for Monaco, Colleen Cossard.
É o hit número 4, entre Grécia e Mónaco.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go, the fourth repechage for the Coastal Women's Solo. Zoe Fitzou, hugely experienced Greek athlete when it comes to coastal racing. Coached here by her father, who's also boat handling for her, so she's got it running in the family when it comes to coastal racing. It's a good fast start. This is going to come down to the wire. It's going to be a very, very close one. This based on the history and pedigree of these two athletes facing each other. Colleen Cossard from Monaco. Monaco, of course, with a huge history and heritage in coastal racing as well. They're looking pretty even here coming up to the first boy in the slalom. No issues there for navigation. Zoe was pointing ever so slightly off course to begin with, but she corrected that very promptly and has missed the first buoy by exactly the margin you'd hope, inches away from the blade. She's allowing the current to drift her over. She's going to need to correct soon to make sure she doesn't go too wide of the second buoy. Colleen Cossan lined up perfectly for the second buoy in the slalom, and they're looking level.
Ora entra então nesta repescagem a Grécia e o Mónaco, Zoe Fitzhugh e Caroline Cossan, ela que armadora do Mónaco, com excelente experiência aqui na linha do remo de mar.
Well, they're coming up to the turning point now. Fitzhugh at 44 strokes a minute to Cossan's 41. It's going to be all about this return to the beach then. They reached the turning point almost at exactly the same time. And they've taken an equally tight route around the bend. So let's see how they line up for their sprint back to the beach. It's been challenging stuff for many athletes to get that right. Cossan looking off at a tangent. Fitzhugh continues to adjust and is now steering the straighter course back to the beach. You can see on these great pictures that they're both on a slight tangent there to a straight line back in. Cossan taking the more circuitous route. Fitzhugh now heading straight back in to the finishing funnel. So this really is going to be all about the beach landing and the sprint up the beach. I think Fitzhugh now with the advantage, but she's moving over. I think she sensed Cossan and feels like she needs to move over because you would expect there to be a gap. Less than 100 meters before they reach the beach, and you can see there's only a length separating them coming in now. Cossan having to make a few corrections to head back towards her flag on the lane 2 side. Only a few calm waves coming through as they approach the beach. Will either of them get a ride on one of those waves just to ease their route in and save the legs ever so slightly for the sprint up the soft sand here in Oeiras? Looks like a possible wave behind Fitzhugh as she comes up towards the beach here. Let's see how this dismount goes. There's only a length separating them, so it's going to be all about this beach sprint now. Here's the exit. Zoe Fitzhugh's on the beach first, feet in the sand first, so it's all about this sprint. Zoe Fitzhugh and Colleen Cossan. It's going to come down to the buzzer. Let's see who's going to get there first. It's Fitzhugh for Greece progressing through to the next round for the Coastal Women's Solo. Only a matter of meters ahead of Colleen Cossan in what turned out to be such a close race. 2 seconds separating them to the line.
E neste hit, a levar a melhor a Grécia, Zoe Fitzhugh contra a armadora do Mónaco, Colleen Cossan.
Moving promptly on now to the 5th repechage. Lining up in lane 1 for Spain, Ainhoa Casanova Calpena, and in lane 2 for Portugal, Patricia Batista.
Ora, no hit número 5, com a Espanha, Ainhoa Calpena e a Patrícia Batista de Portugal. Portanto, vamos puxar pela nossa portuguesa.
One minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then. These knockout rounds do take their toll on the nerves. So fast, these two getting down to their boats, especially the Spaniard, Casanova Calpena, reaching her boat first over in lane 2. Let's see how they get started. The Spanish at this event have been so quick at that beach start. They clearly have been practicing that because it's paying off dividends. She's already a length out in the first few strokes, so it's going to be really tough work for the local favorite from Portugal, Patricia Batista, to get back in contention.
Ora aí está então este hito número 5, o duelo entre a Ainhoa Calpena e a Patrícia Batista de Portugal. Ao público aqui presente, quando ela começar a chegar à praia novamente, há que dar bastante força. A espanhola os espanhóis, aliás, têm feito uma saída muito rápida desde o ponto de partida até entrarem no barco. Neste momento a Patrícia está a tentar ganhar já alguma distância, ou aliás, manter o alinhamento. Como podemos ver ali nas imagens, aparentemente a Patrícia estará à frente da espanhola, o que ganhou bom nesta passagem.
Well, they're through the slalom course with no issues whatsoever. We've got Casanova Calpena up at 40 strokes a minute to Batista's 36. That higher rate of striking paying off for the slightly lighter Spaniard over on the far side. Let's see how they handle this turning point here. Expertly navigated so far. They're pretty much level here in the turning point, so it's going to be all about how they line up for the finish. Navigation being so critical when it comes to coastal racing, and finding your bearings, making sure you're heading in the right direction, because every extra meter in a short race like this counts.
Com uma volta muito parecida às duas remadoras, a portuguesa e a espanhola, bem próximo. A espanhola estava com 40 remadas, a portuguesa 36.
Well, they're heading into the beach now. We've still got Casanova Calpena at 40 strokes a minute to Batista's 38 now. Straight line is what it's all about. Casanova Calpena heading directly for her flag. Batista ever so slightly off course, but they're looking pretty level here. You can see on the screen there's nothing separating them. So it's going to be another exciting sprint that we're going to be treated to. You can now see the boys, though, in the distance off course that Batista is. Perhaps 30 meters to the side of her boy, which is a number of meters she's going to have to run on the beach to get back on track and around her flag. So let's see how this dismount turns out. They're both behind a wave, so I don't think anybody's going to benefit from a wave riding them into the beach.
Vai ser uma chegada emocionante aqui entre a Patrícia e a espanhola Ainhoa. Para esta chegada, a Patrícia a tentar aproveitar aqui este último esforço da boia a sair para a corrida. Já saiu a espanhola. Quem será que vai tocar primeiro? A espanhola está bem próximo de chegar aqui. Vamos lá, Patrícia!
It's all about the sprint here. I think Spain's going to take it. It's Ainhoa Casanova Calpena for Spain taking the win. Just a few meters ahead of Patricia Batista for Portugal. So Spain progresses on to the next round in the Coastal Women's Solo.
Olá, forte aplauso então para representando as cores nacionais, a Patrícia, que deu tudo por tudo, deixou tudo lá na água, assim aqui é mesmo. A progredir então a Espanha para a próxima ronda.
Time now, folks, for the penultimate repechage for the women's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Ireland, Miriam Sheehan, and in lane 2 for Poland, Agnieszka Kobosa-Wojska.
Para este hito número 6, temos Polónia e Irlanda.
One minute. Put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then, Ireland offshore rower against Polish Olympian. The battle is on, both equally fast athletes as we've seen in the previous round so far. Really, really rapid stuff. So this is going to shape up to be a very, very close race indeed. Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska on lane 2. The first to take a couple of strokes, immediately washed down by a wave, so it'll be all about getting line back up and on course for the slalom. Inbound with another wave. They're looking pretty level now. Let's have a look at the overhead shot. Not much separating them at this stage. So it's going to be about navigation and getting the boat speed back up. Miriam Sheehan from Ireland, great experience with the offshore racing. So this was going to be an interesting one to witness between Polish national Olympic team in flat water rowing versus Ireland coastal rower with the experience in the choppy water. And it is tough stuff out there. Currents all over the place. Navigation is going to be critical. Straightest line here from Miriam Sheehan, just as you'd expect with her depth of experience in coastal rowing. Not pointing herself too off when it comes to that second buoy, allowing the current to take her around. Let's have a look at the overhead shot. Savoyska now starting to move ahead. It's a length up she's got here. Shows the power that she's able to transmit into the water with her depth of experience in flat water rowing, really training her up to put the energy in strong and fast.
Ora, a polaca Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska está na frente neste momento, quase com um marco de diferença para a irlandesa Miriam Sheehan, como podemos ver aqui no momento de viragem. As duas muito próximas. A força da remada da remadora olímpica Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska, muito forte.
Right, it's a sprint back into the finish now, all about that navigation and who can steer the straightest course in. Some of these behind shots are just so perfect for showing us who's steering the straightest course, and it is at the moment Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska steering the straightest line in, being closely tailed by the camera boat. Miriam Sheehan a little bit off and taking a little bit of a wider route back. That could be a challenge. We've seen athletes come back from that wide route back in when it comes to the beach sprint, and if they get a great landing. The swell's starting to build a little bit here in Oeiras as we see the waves start to build, so they'll be thinking about how to ride one of those in and take advantage of that wave energy to take them back into the beach. It's all about the beach landing and where they land to give them the shortest route up this soft sand to the buzzer. They're level again. Can you believe it? It's going to come down to the beach sprint now. They're just tailing a wave into the shoreline, so they may not benefit from anything pulling them in. Last couple of strokes, and they're both getting out of the boat almost in unison. And Miriam Sheehan's boat goes careering to the side. That could spell disaster for her. It's down to the sprint now. Here we go. We're going to see a dive to the buzzer. They're both passing their flags at the same time. Who's going to get to their buzzer first? Folks, give it up for these athletes. It's going to be so close. It's Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska for Poland. Just a fraction of a second ahead of Miriam Sheehan. You can see the times there, half a second, if that. It's 2.5 seconds separating these two athletes to the buzzer in what I think is the closest race of our day so far.
Grande chegada esta aqui da polaca Agnieszka Koba-Savoyska, mesmo a milésima para a irlandesa Miriam Sheehan.
Time now, folks.
Time now, folks, for the next round. Heat number 7 from Tunisia. Kahija Karimi, and from Italy, Alicia Ramella.
1 minute, put your boats in the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then, it's the last solo repechage for the women's event here. A good fast start getting down to their boats, especially for Khadija Krimi. They've reached them at the same time. Let's see that entry, slightly bigger wave inbound for Alice Ramela for Italy in lane 1. These little waves just pushing Krimi off course ever so slightly. When the tide's out like this, it is tricky to make sure that as you put your weight into the boat, you don't bottom the boat out onto the sand, because then it's that much harder to get it lifted off and going again. We're just approaching low tide here in Oeiras as we see this last repechage for the Coastal Women's Solo get started. No navigational issues now as they round the first buoy in the slalom course. Let's see how they adjust themselves. The current still causing turmoil out at the further end. Passing the second buoy in the slalom, and there's not much separating them. Ramela perhaps ahead by half a length. The camera angle ever so slightly deceptive here. She's at 38 to Krimi's 40 strokes a minute. They're coming up to the hairpin bend. They've got to take a sharp turn around this third buoy in our 250-meter course. It's 250 meters out. They make this sharp spin and then a straight line 250 meters back in. They're level passing this buoy, so who's taking the sharper corner there? Alice Ramela a little bit slower, getting her blade hammered into the water, so that's going to pay dividends for Khadija Krimi, who just went for it old school style, forcing the blade into the water, and she spun that much quicker. So this could already be a length up. Again, camera angle slightly deceptive. It's just shy of a length to the Tunisian.
Este é o último hit da repescagem do skiff feminino. Da Tunísia, Khadija Krimi, e da Itália, Alice Ramela. Italiana com alguma vantagem.
Less than 100 meters to go before they're back on the beach now, and Khadija Krimi for Tunisia is showing no signs of slowing. She's got over a length advantage now on Alice Ramela. We've seen this though before, a length can be diminished in this beach final run up to the buzzer so quickly because that dismount can be so turbulent. We saw that in just the previous race where there was only 0.2 of a second separating Kobusavoyska and Sheehan. Now let's see how this dismount turns out. There's nearly 2 lengths separating them into the beach, as you can see in these great shots from the local production team. Khadija Krimi for Tunisia, first out of the boat. Let's hear it, folks, for our athletes in this last repechage for the Coastal Women's Solo. Khadija Krimi for Tunisia out in front. I think this is going to be a win for the Tunisian. Last few steps, and Tunisia's Khadija Krimi progresses to the next round in the Coastal Women's Solo. A great race, though, from Alice Ramela. Let's hear it, folks, for the young Italian.
Forte aplauso então para estas atletas, estas remadoras que foram à repescagem, a passar a Tunísia, Khadija Krimi.
Well, folks, what a morning so far. We've had the time trials for the men's solo, the repechages for the women's solo. We now know the lineup for the quarterfinals of tomorrow. Going to be so much to look forward to in the solo races. But for the rest of today, we are getting into some quarterfinals, semi-finals, and medal finals. Loads and loads to look forward to in our program here on day 2 of the Tokyo 20, the Oeiras 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. We're starting again at 12:20 with the junior men's solo quarterfinal next. So we're going to have a brief gap. So come back and join us here at the finish and start funnel at 12:20 for the junior men's solo quarterfinals.
Ora, voltamos aos 12h20 com os quartos finais de júniores, do skiff júniores masculinos e também seguida dos equipes de júniores femininos, onde vai competir a Madalena Peça.
Just coming here to Oeiras and see the real location. Right on the beach by the fortress. Nice smooth waters, maybe too smooth. I like it a little bit rough. And yeah, the atmosphere is really relaxed and people are super friendly. And just being able to host the championship and the World Sprint Finals as this, like in the end of COVID, it feels like a celebration. Much more movement. The boat is shorter, so we don't have the longitudinal momentum and stability. So the boat is way more like maneuverable, and also it's a little bit heavier. So the technique is basically the same, but maybe a little bit shorter strokes, because getting all the way up to the catch and all the way back means that you are like, you can risk having your oar caught or like catching a crab. So that's what I know by now, and that's pretty much it. I was sitting on the plane back from Tokyo with my coach, and 1 hour after departure, he said, well, I heard there's a championship in the beach sprint in Portugal in October. No, in which month are we in? I'm like, post-Olympics? I don't know. Is it December? Is it Christmas yet? I don't know. It's October? Okay, it is. Yeah. So he said, well, sitting on a plane from Tokyo, my coach asked me, like, do you wanna attend the beach sprint finals and the coastal rowing championship? I'm like, yeah, I kind of want that. And here I am. Beach sprints has quite big appeal to me, so it fits. It's like the format that this kind of competition comes in is just cool. You get running, you get big red buttons, you got waves, you got turns, and like there's a lot of action. 2 against 2, 1 against 1 actually, and no, it would be a shame not to attend. So that's going out to all the rowers sitting back home in their sofas eating chocolate, which I did yesterday. Get out there at least next year. I think it fits really well. It creates a longer season for the normal rowers, the regular rowers, and it's good to have a competition that you can focus on other stuff than just the real general rowing. So, yeah, it fits well. Yeah, as I said, this is fun. Like, this is real fun, and I know when it's a pension go, when the buzzer goes off, it's like all eyes on the target. But I mean, as I said, the atmosphere is so calm, and like people are friendly in rowing. But I think I'm ready for this kind of competition. I wouldn't be ready for a 2K race. No.
tears in your eyes at every step of our goodbyes. Pink pearls and a ruffled worn sweater, you left them behind like a love letter. I can make a sentence and nothing makes sense. We had our moments, I relive now, again and again. You were like a solar eclipse on my lips, like hiccups and coughs, wreck the warships. My solar eclipse, go off script, give me hiccups and coughs. Give me hiccups. Call me when you're drunk, naming everyone that you slept with since last week. Who does that? Girl, you ain't killing me. I know you are better than yourself. You were like a solar eclipse on my lips, like hiccups and coughs, wreck the warships. My solar eclipse, go off script, give me hiccups and coughs. Hiccups, 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 hiccups. You give me hiccups, give me hiccups. Hiccups, 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 hiccups. You give me hiccups. Hiccups, 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 hiccups. You give me hiccups, give me hiccups. Hiccups, 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 hiccups. You give me hiccups. I don't think the world understands that loving you is to go mad. 'Cause everything's dead. Everything is dead. Point me in the right direction. Say that you still feel our connection. Feel the affection. Oh, 'cause you were like a solar eclipse on my lips, like hiccups and coughs. Now wreck the warship. My solar eclipse, go off script. Give me hiccups and coughs. Give me hiccups. Give me hiccups. There's another side of you no one gets to know. Only strangers Every moment tonight, they led me to you. Every single time you look at me, I lose it too. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day. Mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up for my sins? Now I'm lonely and it kills me. Can you hear me, babe? I'm lonely. I know you don't wanna talk, but just pick up the phone. We could go for a walk, talk about the things we know. Why don't you come sit next to me? Let things happen naturally, like it used to be. I don't wanna go and waste another day. Mess it up again, lost in my way. I'll be the one to have the highest price to pay. If I make it home tonight, may I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up for my sins? Now I'm lonely and it kills me. May I hold you one last time? Let me hold you one last time. What if it's too late for me now? What if you gone to someone else, so we can never be the same? How can I make up for my sins? Now I'm lonely and it kills me. Can you hear me, babe? I'm lonely.
Come and tell me what you need to know. We can stalk it and make it grow. Come and ask me what you want to know, and we can go from here. Our world just keeps turning, and here I am still learning about what it is that you need, what it is you bleed for. Longing and yearning, deeply burning for you. Are you staying with me? Help me feed it. Slow down, let our minds go quiet now. No sound, Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun?
Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like that. It burns, so give him something worse to kill his head with, make him forget somehow. Might be that another day she would have wished he stayed, but they're done. Sorry, this won't be enough this time. Yeah, he's calling all his friends to get some action and distract him right now. He's fine, got Lucy on the line, let's get this started. Where's the party tonight? I feel good, nothing weighs me down. I can't believe my luck right now. Red eyes while he said, don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart, it needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Ooh, who needs a job to pay the rent? He's busy. Gotta feel free sometimes, but what doesn't make you will only make you stronger if you believe what they say. Might be that another day she would have wished he stayed, but they're done. Red eyes while he said, don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart, it needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Yeah, his baby said that they don't got a future like that. It hurts, so giving something worse to pass the time. Don't you wanna have fun? Fool around with someone. Don't you wanna have fun? Never mind my dumb heart, it needs a little kickstart. 'Cause don't you wanna have fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun? Don't you wanna have some fun?
I'm a mess. Don't know how I got here, but I'm blessed. Didn't know it'd take me past my destiny. You're behind me with the rest. 'Cause I'm a mess. No more you.
And I go home. You said things could only get better. I needed more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything is secret? Everything is secret. Everything is secret. Everything is secret. How can I believe it when everything is secret? You see through, gotta make space for the new you, like I'm old news in your rearview mirror. It must be nice you went and got a penthouse, all your friends partying, it's real loud. Brand new money with a brand new chest, still a baby bird price straight off the nest like you. No more. things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't, 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 don't go home. You said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't, don't. How can I believe you when everything is seething, seething? How can I believe everything is seething, seething? Everything is seething, seething. Everything is seething. How can I believe it when everything is seething, seething? You ain't gotta be so see-through. You ain't gotta be see-through, see-through, yeah. You ain't gotta be so see-through. You ain't gotta be see-through, see-through, yeah. Oh my mate, eh? You made a permanent home in my head. You moving like a goddess, come my way, my way, my way. Your hips on the move, only a real one can do what you do. I caught a body, but you was the shooter. Damn. Shot me down one time. Now you wanna hug me down long time. Funny how the love can change sometimes. So we say, hey, Paco, Paco, I'm pulling up on you. Let me show you my world. Oh. She told me that I make her feel alive. I can see the goodness in your eyes. We can take a trip, just you and I. You got it. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh
Adicto a ti, mi flaca. Tu cuerpo sacude como un maraca. Te miro y miro, so sube y baja. Como en Caracas bailamos al ritmo del bajo y la caja. Y tú mi África, yo tu casino en América. Quiero bambino contigo, ma. Te beso bien suave en el limón, ma. Te quiero con vino, limón, no sal. Tu cuerpo es un carnaval, yeah. Tus ojos trascendental y tu espíritu natural. Me enamora con besos en el piñal, yeah. De África al tropical, nuestro amor es transnacional. Lo que tenemos presidencial, aquí la vista es
told me that I
espectacular.
make her feel alive. I can see the goodness in your eyes. We can take a trip, just you and I. You got it. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Can't wait to show you off. Come out, I'm pulling up. Come out, I'm pulling up, yeah.
Oh ma, lo que tengo contigo ma, esto está fijo ma.
She told me that I make her feel alive. I can see the goodness in your eyes. We can take a trip, just you and I. You got me up. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. She told me that I make her feel alive. I can see the goodness in your eyes. We can take a trip, just you and I. You got it. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
Son.
Take me up into the mountains, send me off into the wild. Misery is still a path I would choose if the alternatives are worse. I guess it's time to find a friend, one who will stick by to the end. Going out of my mind in the middle, wasting all of my time in the middle. I take a bite and spit it out, unaware of what it's about. I'm not that good at faking it. I feel somehow I've broken it. I don't believe I'm part of it. If I try to climb up.
One, two.
Well, folks, we are now just a couple of minutes away from the first quarterfinal here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. It's for the junior men's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for the USA, Brian O'Leary, and in lane 2 for Spain, Miguel Salas Córdoba.
Estamos prontos para a primeira quarta-final, Espanha e Estados Unidos. One minute, put your boats on the water. Get ready.
Attention.
There we go, we're underway with this first quarterfinal here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals in Oeiras. And he's so quick. Miguel Salas Cordoba from Spain in lane 1 gets to the boat first. It's shallow water out there. It's tough to get the boat up off the sand. He's now underway, and same for Brian O'Leary for the USA. They're looking pretty level at this stage. Let's see how it pans out as they come up towards the first buoy in the slalom. The Spanish are having such quick starts here in these solo races. They clearly have a trick up their sleeve when it comes to getting in that boat promptly and the first few strokes to get the boat speed up. Not far astern though from the Spaniard, Brian O'Leary for the USA, only about a length and a half behind. So they're moving over to pass that second buoy in the slalom as soon as possible. Beautiful scenes here in Oeiras.
Ora, aí entra então o espanhol e os Estados Unidos, Miguel Córdoba e Brian O'Leary. Neste ponto de viragem estão os dois muito semelhantes. Esta é a primeira regata dos quartos de finais dos júniores masculinos em seguida.
Well, they're coming up to the turning point here now. Salas Cordoba from Spain up at 41 strokes a minute, leading Brian O'Leary from the USA by a length. Knockout stuff here when it comes to the quarterfinals. Which of these two athletes are going to progress on to the semis for the junior men's solo? It's Spain round the turning point first, a good tight corner. Now this is the tricky thing. We were talking to some of the athletes earlier about how they line themselves up, and it is so tough with the swirling currents at the far end of the course. But it looks like Brian O'Leary is steering the straightest course back in. Salas Cordoba just correcting ever so slightly, and now back on track towards the beach. It's excellent navigation from both of these young athletes. No issues whatsoever. A good straight course running them back in towards the beach here at Oeiras. Just as I say that, though, a few adjustments from Miguel Salas Cordoba from Spain. Last few strokes, and there really is very little separating them. We've seen upset from greater distances than this when it comes to the beach landing. So let's see how they handle this now. O'Leary getting a ride in on that wave that could close that margin down for him. It's going to come down to the beach sprint here. Here we go. It's Salas Cordoba out first, but he's got a longer route to get to his flag. They're looking pretty level here. It's going to be a dive to the buzzer. Salas Cordoba from Spain, O'Leary from the USA. It goes to Spain by a matter of a fraction or two of a second across the line. We'll wait for the official results to confirm that verdict, but it was very, very close indeed. Looks like Miguel Salas Cordoba from Spain.
Primeiro hit então dos quartos finais já está a melhor a levar o espanhol Miguel Córdoba 2:58.671 e para Brian O'Leary em 2:59.675. Three minutes for the start.
Next race on the course then, folks, is the second quarterfinal for the junior men's single sculls. Lining up here in lane 1 for France, Mattia Soldati, and in lane 2 for Japan, Yasui Yosuke. Well, folks, it's great to have you both here ready to race it out. Tell us, how's it been getting to this part of the competition so far?
It's cool. It's a very good thing. I'm very, very proud of me to get here. And yeah.
Well, well done you. Very well done you. And Yasui Yosuke, whereabouts in Japan are you from? Where in Japan are you from?
Where?
In Japan. Your home city? Tokyo?
No, Ehime.
Great. Well, look, very well done. Let's hear it, folks, for Mattia Soldati and Yasui Yosuke.
Heat number 2 from the quarterfinals. Heat number 2 entre França e Japão. 1 minute. Put your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go. He had his eyes on that flag. Yasui Yosuke for Japan. Really fast reactions there, and that's paying off. He's getting to the boat first. Let's see how they handle the entry. Pretty clean stuff for both of these young athletes contesting for the one place in this race through to the next round. First few strokes go to Soldati for France, though. Let's see how he lines up for that first buoy. In fact, I'd call that a textbook start through the first few strokes. No big waves for him to try and tackle to get up the boat speed, but he's at risk on that first buoy. Very confident stuff, not taking a look to that late stage, but no issues whatsoever. They're getting into their race rhythm here. There's perhaps a length separating them as they pass between the first and second slalom boys.
Aí estão as duas nações na água, então, da França, Mattia Soldati, e do Japão, Yosuke Yasui, neste hit número 2 dos quartos de finais.
Well, they're making their way up to the turning point. That could be troublesome for Yasui Yasuke. Not 100% sure which side of that second slalom buoy he went. There could be a penalty inbound for that if he went to the wrong side of it. So we'll have to wait for the official result to confirm that. But that he won't like to be hanging over him now that he's got the hard work of this turn, picking up the boat again from a dead standstill. Mattia Soldati, though, going a little bit wide here. Let's see if he can adjust to get a straight course back in. We're seeing that quite frequently on lane one. And making that spin. It's nearly a capsize for Japan. That's tricky stuff. Looks like he's lost one of his blades, so he's going to have to adjust and try and recover from that. That could spell the end of his race here. He's still at a standstill. It's tricky. These boats, whilst they look wide, they are so difficult to balance. Perhaps one of his blades came out of the gates. We can't quite see at this distance. Safety on hand, as you would absolutely expect. And it's a capsize. That's worrying. So the safety are there. I'm sure they'll be able to fish him out promptly. But here comes Mattia Soldati for France, coming in to the last 100 meters or so of the water section of this beach sprint. Mattia Soldati then for France. He's going to ride this wave into the beach. He's had a great race, great navigation, and he does indeed get to ride the wave in. Let's see how his dismount goes. He's almost certainly through to the next round. Here he comes, folks. Let's hear it for Mattia Soldati of France. He'll be going through to the next round for the junior men's solo.
Matias Soldati a passar para a próxima ronda com o tempo de 3:08.926. Depois de Yosuke Yasui ter tido um problema com o remo e ter de ser superado. Já temos então apurado Miguel Córdoba e Matias Soldati para a próxima ronda deste skiff masculino júniores. Então, temos tido uma boa presença. Melhor tempo que ontem, foi o do Afonso. E Yosuke Yausi já vem para a chegada, já tem o seu segundo remo. Vamos aplaudi-lo quando chegar aqui à praia.
Great news, folks. Yasui Yosuke for Japan has managed to get back into his boat and he's coming in now to the beach. So, folks, everybody down here, let's have a huge round of applause, please, for Yasui Yosuke for Japan coming in to close out his quarterfinal here in the junior men's solo.
Olá, vamos aplaudir Yosuke Yasui na sua chegada depois deste contratempo. Olá, vamos lá dar mesmo uma grande salva de palmas por o seu esforço.
Well done, Yasui Yosuke for Japan. A great way to finish after some difficulty, some great sportsmanship, getting back in the boat to conclude the race. Very well done indeed. Next race on the course is the last quarterfinal for the junior men's solo before we get into the semi-finals. Lining up here we have from Tunisia Bilal Frikoui and from Germany Manel Merzel. So great to have you here, Manel. Tell us, where are you from in Germany?
From southern Germany, Ulm, between Munich and Stuttgart in Baden-Württemberg, yes.
And who do you race for? Do you have a club?
Yes, we are from the Ulmer Ruder Club, so rowing club.
A great many people, I'm sure, are proud to have you here racing and representing your club and Germany. Well done. And Bilal, very well and welcome to Oeiras. Where is it you're from in Tunisia?
Tunisia, in this city, in Cité Tahrir, you know.
And is there a club there that you race for?
Yeah.
What's the name of the club?
CJM1x, you know.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much and very best of luck in the race. Thanks a lot. Take your places.
One minute for the start. Put your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Well, Manuel Murzel got the memo about the umpire's flag. He was eagle-eye on that, and that set him off straight down to his boat. Excellent race already. He's already in the boat. Let's see how these two fare getting the first few strokes in. It's Bilal Frigoui from Tunisia, though, who wins the race to take the first stroke. Let's see how they line up now for this race through the slalom. These young athletes navigating the moving and shifting currents here in Oeiras with expert perfection. To the first boy in this lineup, though, it's Bilal Frigoui from Tunisia. A great start for him here. Let's see how they fare, adjusting course towards that second boy.
Temos então Tunísia e Alemanha. Bilal Frigoui da Tunísia e Manuel Murzel da Alemanha. Ligeira vantagem então para a Tunísia nesta passagem pela primeira boia.
Turning point here, and let's see how they get around the bend. It's Frigoui for Tunisia, who makes the corner first, and very, very well turned. He's already lining up straight back down the course as we see Murzel for Germany just concluding the turn.
Altura em que as duas embarcações já viraram para vir em direção. Preparado também já deve estar o nosso Afonso Santos.
Coming straight back in now then, Frigoui for Tunisia has the advantage. It's a couple of lengths here, not too much of a lead that Murzel wouldn't be able to get back on terms, depending on a good straight line in and how they navigate the waves here at this beach landing in the beautiful area of Oeiras. For those tuning in at home, we're in the shadow of the fantastic Fort Santa Julião de Barra fort here. That's what you see in the back of these pictures, and it's stunning scenery for these young athletes to be representing their nations overseas at such a high-level international event. And it's looking like we're going to see Frigoui for Tunisia make his way through to the semi-final. Perfect navigation is what we've just witnessed. Time for that beach landing and the run up this soft sand to press the buzzer and secure his place through to the next round. A great sprint here. Nothing's going to change now. Bilal Frigoui for Tunisia is going to take the win in this quarterfinal, the third quarterfinal for the junior men's singles, securing his place in the semi-final. And let's hear it, folks. Manuel Murzel for Germany, coming into the last 30 meters sprint along our soft sand here in Oeiras.
E terminamos então com a Tunísia a levar a melhor, Bilal Frigoui com 2:53.048, o melhor tempo destes quartos finais. Falta só então o nosso Afonso Santos. And Peter, we have the fastest time from Bilal from Tunisia. 2:53.048 was the fastest on this quarterfinals.
That's amazing for this junior level. That's faster than some of the seniors, the elite level that we saw racing in the time trials this morning. So it just shows that he's going to be one to watch when it comes to coastal solo racing as he progresses through the ranks of the Tunisian team.
Yeah, that's great. And now you will have, I think, Afonso Santos from Portugal.
Well, folks, here we go. We're moving on from the quarterfinals in the junior men's solo to the semi-finals next. Semi-final number 1, in lane 1, representing Spain, Miguel Salas Cordoba, and in lane 2 for Portugal, Alfonso Santos. Guys, very well done on getting to this stage. You're in the semi-finals. Likelihood of medals on the table here as well. But we want to learn a little bit more about you. Miguel, could you tell us a little bit, where are you from in Spain?
Of Alicante.
And do you have a club there that you race for?
What?
Do you have a club?
Yes, Real Club Regatas Alicante.
Excellent. They must be very proud to have you here representing country and club at the World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Now, Alfonso, you got straight through to this round. Where is it you're from in Portugal, though?
I'm from Figueira da Foz in Coimbra, and I hope we can put on a good show for both the spectators here and on watching on YouTube.
Excellent. Well, very well done. Good luck to both of you.
Primeira semifinal, Espanha, Miguel Salas Córdoba. E na linha número 2, Afonso Santos, de Portugal. So, Peter, we are a little bit on ahead of our time. That's very good for this event, and thank you for all the nations that came to Portugal and visit us here in this Oeiras, which we are ready for the semi-finals. And shifting a little bit for the Portuguese, because we have some Portuguese on the beach. De Portugal, obrigado a todos por estarem presentes aqui. Estamos um bocadinho à frente do nosso tempo, portanto, há tempo para poder agradecer a todos aqueles que vieram até à praia para dar força, não só aos nossos portugueses, como é o caso do grande Afonso, que está aqui nesta meia-final contra o espanhol Miguel Córdoba, o homem que vem de Alicante. Temos Figueira da Foz e Alicante a lutar por um lugar na final. A todo o público pedimos para aplaudir e dar forças então aos nossos remadores portugueses e este grande evento aqui montado em Oeiras, que recebe de braços abertos este Mundial. 3 minutes for the start. One minute for the start. Put your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, we're underway with the first semi-final here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. This, folks, is why it's called a power endurance sport. We've just seen Miguel Salas Cordoba race just within an hour, and he's back at it again to try and get himself a place through to the final. It's so tough, this sprinting. It's so tough on the muscles, but look at this water here. You can't see the moving currents. It is so difficult out in the distance. It's looking pretty level as they come up towards the first buoy in the slalom. In fact, it's Spain out in front. These Spaniards have got an amazing start. I don't know what they do to manage that, but we, of course, saw Alfonso Santos earn his way directly through to this semi-final. So he's one of the fastest out there when it comes to coastal solo rowing. So this is going to be a real battle. Tough draw for Miguel Salas Cordoba to be up alongside Alfonso Santos for Portugal, who has already closed that margin as they passed the second slalom buoy. Slightly better line, though, from the Spaniard through that point. Let's see how they handle the turn now.
Yeah, Peter, and the time it was yesterday, Alfonso got 2:52, and now Miguel Salas reached 2:58, so very close to these guys. Let's see what's gonna be. Shifting for Portuguese, o nosso Afonso ontem fez o tempo de 2:52.845 e hoje o Miguel Salas, que está a competir lado a lado, o nosso irmão, com 2:58.671, um tempo muito próximo para estes dois remadores que estão a tentar dar tudo por tudo. E ao público português nós pedimos para aplaudir e dar força ao Miguel, ao Afonso, aliás, quando for a chegar aqui ao final.
Well, we've got a real race shaping up here. We see Alfonso Santos for Portugal, the local favourite, pulling up and now moving out into the lead. There's 2 lengths in it as he comes into the last 100 metres or so, pulling out ahead of Miguel Salas Cordoba. I think the lactic acid starting to build up in the young Spaniard. It's such hard work to maintain that effort in a second beach sprint race in such close order to the previous one. Now coming into the beach here, Alfonso Santos for Portugal looks as though he's going to secure himself a place through to the medal main gold and silver final coming up later on this morning. Fantastic race, riding a wave into the beach as well.
O Afonso aqui a dar o máximo por máximo para conseguir. Ele ontem fez o tempo de 2:52 a sair da água para correr. Vamos lá dar apoio ao nosso Afonso.
Comes the win is going to go to Alfonso Santos of Portugal. Moving on to the A final number 1 for the junior men's solo event. And coming in to progress on to the second final for the men's solo, Miguel Salas Cordoba will be looking to conserve a little bit of energy to battle it out for the bronze.
3:11.773 for the time. And Afonso, you know, we got a better time from yesterday. 2:49 is getting better right now. Parabéns ao Afonso, que conseguiu o tempo de 2:49.777, a melhorar o tempo de ontem e vai direto para a primeira grande final de hoje.
Next race then is the second semi-final for the junior men's solo. We'll find out who will be progressing to join Alfonso Santos in the A final for this category. Lining up here in lane 1 for France, we have Mattia Soldati, and in lane 2 for Tunisia, Bilal Frigoui. Well, you both just raced. Tell me, Matthias, how was that?
It was good condition, a lot of wave, and a little bit of wind, but it was a good race. I'm going to try to do better this time.
Well, you got the result you were looking for, and how about for you, Bilal?
It's a good race.
It was a good race?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, best of luck to both of you. Go get yourselves ready.
Vamos para mais uma meia-final. Matias Soldati da França e Bilal Frigoui da Tunísia. One minute for the start. You can put your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go, Mattia Soldati. He is rapid, but now Bilal finds his pace as the sand tilts down to the shore. Let's see how they get underway with their first stroke. Is it going to be a clean entry? Bilal just checking that he's on the seat properly. Boat handler's giving him a shove. It's a clean start for both of them. This could be troublesome. It's going to come all down to their navigation then and their boat speed. So no issues getting started. Let's see how they fare for this first buoy in the slalom. It's going to be cut fine. Mateus on one side and Bilal having to make quite a few adjustments there to get back on track. They've navigated the first buoy correctly. I think Soldati with the finest line there. Absolutely perfect. Knocking down the first buoy with his rigger, that's sort of what you want to see. It means you're steering the straightest course possible. Can be tricky though, because the last thing you need is a rogue wave or current to just push you the wrong side, and you get a 30-second penalty.
E temos então da França Matias Soldati e da Tunísia Bilal Frigoui. No hito anterior, o tunisino a conseguir um bom tempo de 2:53.048 e o francês Soldati com 3:08.926, com mais tempo, portanto. No entanto, eles vão os dois muito próximos em termos de alinhamento. Vão neste momento preparar para fazer a viragem. Aliás, francês mais à frente.
Well, Soldati makes it to the turn first. He's striking 38 all the way up there to Frigoui's 40. Now it's going to all come down to the lineup back into the beach. So can they both get as straight as possible? Soldati, a great shot here. You can see the issues with looking back onto the beach to get a clean line in. We're nearly at low tide here. So there's even more of a beachfront sprint to contend with up the beach. And it gets very, very shallow in the water when the tide is low. So it's tough to judge when the right moment to leap out of the boat is. It makes it that much trickier compared with just their previous round when they might have got comfortable with the tide where it was. Less than 100 meters now. Mattia Soldati leading Bilal Frigoui into the bank here. Anything can change. These two young athletes have become so fast and they've both just raced within the last hour. So the lactic acid will be a real challenge for them at this point as they translate a piston-like leg movement into running. Any of you who's done that before knows that you can be a little bit sluggish off the mark. Here comes this beach landing. Frigui gets the benefit of a wave ride in. Will that be enough to contend? I think he might just run out of time, because here comes Matteo Soldati for France. He's going to be going through to the A final in the junior men's solo.
E tivemos então Matias Soldati a passar para a final com o tempo de 2:58.148 e Bilal Frigui 3:04.367. Ora, temos um compasso agora até às 13h10, hora da final número 2, entre a Espanha e a Tunísia. Miguel Salas Córdoba e Bilal Frigui para darem o tempo deste terceiro. Vamos ver quem vai ficar com a medalha de bronze neste skiff júnior masculino. E a grande final, a luta pelo primeiro e segundo lugar, portanto ouro e prata aqui nestes mundiais, vai ser às 13h17, 7 minutos depois, com Afonso Santos e Matias Soldati.
Get ready. Attention.
With the first race of the World Road Beach Sprint Final.
Come, heat number 10, what a sprint for Spain.
Hussey goes sprinting down the beach here. Let's see who gets there first. It's so close. A photo finish / a buzzer finish. I think that's got to be one of the races of the day, if not the race of the day.
Hey, listen up, I've tried to tell you this 100 times. Not getting better by lying there pretending to cry. You on repeat, you can't see shit cause you have closed your eyes. You say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. I try to help you, but you keep reading between the lines. There's nothing there for you to complicate, we're not aligned. You say you listen, but guessing that's just another sign. Not growing up, you're growing old, you life keep passing. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. Now if you break it, I can take it, I don't need a prize. Leave out the fact that I am up against 1,000 guys. My intuition efficient cause I can use my mind. Don't try to tell me how it's done, you haven't done your time. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry out now. Have you given up? I will never stop, yeah.
I'm fed up with changes. Come pick me up cause I just wanna see the light. I wanna be weightless. Teach me to fly, I won't be coming down. Could somebody wake me up? I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. Yeah. I just see her face wherever I look. She's standing in the crowd. So let go, I don't want to, but I'm gonna try. When she left me, yeah, let a little bit inside. You know, maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. I'm so sick of waiting and getting too restless to be in this dusty town. I've heard of this place where people forget and you get another try. So come open up my door. I don't wanna be here and let the world pass me by. I won't see your face wherever I look. I'm blinded by the light. So let go, I don't want to, but
3 minutes for the start. Be ready for the finals.
maybe things are gonna be alright. Cause I just wanna see the light. Yeah, I just wanna see the light.
Well, folks, we're moving on now to the first final, the final for the bronze medal here at the 2020 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals for the junior men's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for Spain, Miguel Salas Cordoba, and in lane 2 for Tunisia, Bilal Frigoui. The lactic acid must be building up. It's tiring stuff, this. How did you find the previous race, Miguel?
Yes, it have a race very hard.
Oh, good luck. And Bilal, how was the last race for you?
The first race is better than the second race, but it's the game.
Better than the previous one. Well, very well done, both of you. Good luck. See you shortly.
Preparado para a final B, vamos ter Miguel Córdoba e Frigoui Bilal. One minute for the start with your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
Here we go then. If you're not familiar with beach starts, it is Miguel Salas Cordoba to watch based on his previous starts that have been absolutely rapid. Let's see if there's anything to learn from this. Look at that. The first couple of strokes already in. He's going to contest with a wave to start with, but he's already got a slight lead over Bilal Frigoui for Tunisia. This is the race for the bronze medal, folks, at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals. Oeiras for the junior men's solo. A good, clean line for both athletes so far, heading up towards the first buoy in the slalom course. No navigational issues whatsoever so far. Let's see how they handle their lineup towards the second one.
Ora, temos então a Tunísia e a Espanha a lutar pela medalha de bronze aqui nestes campeonatos do mundo de remo do mar. Este é o skiff júnior masculino. A Tunísia foi quem foi mais rápida nas competições anteriores, por isso algum favoritismo para esta saída, mas temos que ver que o remador espanhol neste momento, por exemplo, está bem próximo, bem equalizado. Como é que vai ficar aquela viragem lá ao fundo?
Getting so close as we get to the pointy end of competition now. Miguel at 43, Bilal at 38. A very, very different rhythm in these two boats, but it's Miguel who makes the turn first, and he's very, very quick at getting that boat spun round. Let's see how he gets it back up to speed. No issue there whatsoever. Astonishing stuff considering the lactic that these two must have built up through having just raced a quarter and then a semi-final, and now in this bronze medal final here. It's going to be all about the line into the beach. Let's see how they navigate. They're coming in with a big phase of waves here. You can see them starting to crash into the beach. Who's going to be able to take advantage of that and maybe either close down the gap or extend it? Less than 100 meters to go. Miguel Salas Cordoba for Spain, currently leading Bilal Frigoui for Tunisia into the last 50 or so meters. Tide continues to go out, so it's going to be a shallower landing than the previous rounds again. Things drawing level. It's been a good few strokes there as Bilal Frigoui for Tunisia pulls in to draw level with Spain. So this is going to be a sprint to the line. It's going to be a very close one, this one, folks. They're going to dismount at almost exactly the same time. So it's going to be down to their line around the flag. Who's out first? There's a medal for the taking here in this race. The bronze medal final for the junior men's solo. It's going to be a dive to the line. It goes to Tunisia's Bilal Frigoui with such a close finish there in the end. It was a matter of a few meters. What a great performance. Very well done. Bilal Frigoui, bronze medalist in the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals competition for the junior men's solo.
Nesta final, com uma chegada muito emocionante, foi a Tunísia que levou a melhor, Frigoui Bilal, com o tempo de 3:02.166. 3 minutes for the start for the great finals here on the solo man. 3 minutos então para a partida para o skiff masculino júnior.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to the first gold and silver medal final here at the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Final. It's for the junior men's solo. Lining up in lane 1 for France, Matías Soldati. And in lane 2 for Portugal, Alfonso Santos. Matías, how are the legs feeling? It's tough work, back-to-back races.
Yeah, it's hurting a little bit, but I'm enough strong for the last race.
And who's going to win?
I'm here for the gold. I think he's also here for the gold, so now we're going to see who's the best.
Very diplomatic, well played. And Alfonso, you didn't have to do so many races straight through to the semis. What was that like in the semi-final?
The semi-final was a little bit easier. Maybe I don't have the quarter-final, as you said, and my legs aren't so tired. So we'll see who can get the gold, and will be fun.
And what's your strategy going to be for in this final now?
Try to do everything good and hope we can get our top.
As clean a race as possible. Well, look, good luck to both of you. Go and get yourselves ready.
A grande final deste skiff júnior masculino nestes campeonatos do mundo de remo de mar aqui em Oeiras. Afonso Santos e Matías Soldati. Que orgulho termos Portugal nesta final a lutar pelo ouro. 1 minute for the start. Put your boats on the water.
Get ready. Attention.
There we go. It's so fast for the Frenchman. Matías Soldati, he is rapid. He gets down to the boat first. Let's see how they take these first couple of strokes. It looks like a carbon copy of Alfonso's previous race. He wasn't the fastest start, but then he had the boat speed, and it's a total washdown for Soldati. His boat is absolutely waterlogged. This could spell disaster for his race here. Alfonso Santos, he's running away with it now towards the first buoy. That was such a troublesome big wave, trying to get his blade out of the water. He's recovered it now. This could spell disaster unless Alfonso has an issue out there, which is unlikely from this experienced coastal athlete. He's looking so good out in front. Alfonso Santos for Portugal leading.
Bem, com um início bastante atribulado para o francês, que teve ali logo um wash-up da primeira onda. Ele é bastante forte. Vamos lá.
Both athletes now at 40 strokes a minute and well into their race rhythms after that turbulent start for Matteo Soldati. He's recovered it well now though, but this is an enormous mountain for him to climb to try and get back into contention with Alfonso Santos, local favourite from here in Portugal, as we see the beautiful scenes in the shadow of the Fort San de Julião de Barra. Alfonso Santos making the corner, making the turn, and he's lined up straight back in towards the beach. Textbook stuff there from the young Portuguese athlete.
Yeah, Peter, your Portuguese is getting better, huh? That's very good for me, guy. Here from the tower, I see the French is getting fast recovery right now. Ora então, o nosso Afonso teve uma saída mais certa e não tão boa para o francês a conseguir agora a navegar direito até a praia, a lutar pelo ouro nestes júniores de ski, neste campeonato do mundo de remo de mar. A primeira vez que os júniores entram nesta competição e Portugal a lutar pela medalha de ouro.
Less than 50 meters to go now. Alfonso Santos for Portugal at 38 strokes a minute coming into the bank here. He's got an ocean of clear water there, quite the safety margin. So as long as he gets this beach landing right, he is looking likely to win the gold medal and be crowned the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Final champion for the junior men's solo. He even gets a wave to ride in on. This has been a superb race for Alfonso Santos and an excellent dismount to boot. Here he comes, folks. Give him a huge round of applause. He's going to take the gold medal in the 2021 World Rowing Beach Sprint Finals for the junior men's solo. Gold medal to Alfonso Santos. And folks, let's hear it as well for Matteo Soldati, who's landing on the beach here. He'll be taking the silver medal in competition. He had a great first couple of rounds today in the quarters, the semis, and now a good run in. He will earn himself the silver medal in this competition. It was a difficult start, but he didn't give up, and here he comes for the silver medal for the junior men's solo.
Grande aplauso para o nosso Afonso, que conseguiu a medalha de ouro nestes campeonatos do mundo de remo de mar na categoria de skiff júniores, e também para o nosso Matias Soldati, que teve uma saída ali bem atripulada com o tempo de 3:31.228. Mesmo assim, foi uma boa recuperação. Parabéns aos dois. Ora, depois de termos atribuído a medalha de ouro, prata e bronze neste Júnior Skiff masculino, relembro a entrega de prémios, e aí sim, eu quero todos presentes na praia. Vai ser às 5 da tarde, entrega de prémios então às 5 da tarde para este grande vitória do nosso português. A próxima competição vai ser às 13h37, portanto temos pouco mais de 15 minutos para poder descansar. Hello everyone. This was a great competition here. We have the men's solo junior for the first time here in the beach sprint final in Oeiras, Portugal, with the Portuguese getting the gold. So congratulations to our Portuguese friend. I remind you that the award ceremony will be at 5 p.m. here, so I invite everyone around to be on the award ceremony so we can clap your hands together to our Portuguese friends and Tunisia for our winners for today on the juniors solo here in Portugal. So the next competition will be 13:37, so we have about 15 minutes for the start for the next one, so we can have a chill out a little bit. Please don't forget to use your masks, compete the distance. We'll see you in a moment.
a mess. Don't know how I got here, but I'm blessed. Didn't know it'd take me past my destiny. You're behind me with the rest, 'cause I'm a mess. No more you.
And I go home. You said things could only get better. I needed more than ever. They don't. How can I believe you when everything is secret, secret? Everything is secret, secret. Everything is secret, secret. Everything is secret. How can I believe it when everything is secret, secret? You see through, gotta make space for the new you, like I'm old news in your rearview mirror. It must be nice, you went and got a penthouse, all your friends partying is real loud. Brand new money with a brand new chest, still a baby bird price straight off the nest like you. Said things could only get better. I need it more than ever. They don't.